Right, guys, so welcome back to episode 2 of Your Armies on Parade, and I've got a very special guest with me here today with a very different army. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tom Meakers.
Hi guys, cheers for having me.
No worries, thank you very much for joining me, Tom. Tom is quite active on Instagram, and this is where I started following him, actually. And he has a very unusual army. You play Slaanesh, Tom.
Yes, I do. I've played them for quite a while now. Pure Slaanesh.
But not just that, you play both 40k and Sigma with your army, don't you?
Yeah, true. I played them in Warhammer Fantasy as well, and hopefully, depending on the new Heresy book, I'll probably play them in that as well. So.
Awesome stuff. So obviously take a look at Tom's army as the pictures go past as well. But I've got a few questions for you, Tom. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been in the hobby? Where do you game? Things like that.
Well, I think I started when I was about 8 or 9. I went round friends. He had some set out, and they caught my attention. I picked up a few boxes of, I think it was Fantasy to start with, and then moved over to 40k quite quickly. I've always mainly done Chaos Forces. I've dabbled in probably everything, to be perfectly honest, apart from Imperial Guard.
Yeah, that was pretty much the same way I got into it. I remember going around with friends, and he had the old metal Chaos Terminators with the is it the Reaper auto cannon?
Yeah,
yeah, and that must have been 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's scary stuff. So where do you game? Obviously, a lot of your pictures are at Warhammer World.
Yeah, I like getting up to Warhammer World as much as possible. I'll be going up to the Age of Sigmar Grand Final in October with my Slaanesh as I qualified with them. I also play down in Rushden, which is about 10 minutes from me, on Tuesday nights, and I'll be heading there this evening. They only do Age of Sigmar. I go over to the Legion of Peterborough. I play 40k over there. I'll be there on Friday. And I've got a gaming table set up in my house, so I'll have friends over as often as possible. Play some games.
Excellent. I've noticed one of the pictures as well. You were playing against Toby's Custodes.
Yeah, we've always had a bit of a friendly rivalry, me and Toby. It's ever since I met him at some of the Greetings for the Warp events, which are about 15 minutes from me. So
yeah. Massive shout out to Greetings of the Warp as well. They helped, of course, support the cancer research stream over the weekend, as did you, Tom. So thank you very, very much for that.
That's all right. It's a good cause.
So, first of all, you've mentioned there, obviously, that you do collect and play mainly Chaos armies. You haven't touched Imperial Guard. Do you actually collect any other armies for Sigmar or 40k?
40k seems a bit odd, but I also collect Grey Knights, which are still painted at the moment. I have got Chaos Space Marines. I've got a crossover force of Night Lords from Heresy, and I use in 40k. Age of Sigmar, I've got Bone Splitters, and since the announcement of the Beast of Chaos book, I've got my old Beastmen out that I'm playing around with, tester models for painting.
Excellent. I'm still holding fire for Moonclan Grots after seeing that troll at the weekend as well.
Yeah, that would be a very cool book.
I am definitely not buying 12 trolls this weekend.
We shall see, won't we?
So, why Slaanesh? What draws you to Slaanesh?
I've played them since probably the first Daemons book dropped in 5th edition. I think I've dabbled in Nurgle for a bit because I played Plague Marines for Chaos Marines, and I like those, but they're very durable. But I like my combat. I like being able to rip apart units when I charge in, not just stand there.
And of course, Slaanesh are incredibly quick, no matter whether you're playing 40k or Age of Sigmar.
Oh yes, they're. It's always shocking. It's always great seeing my opponent's face when they're across the first turn.
So Seekers do what? I think the move 14, run d6 plus 1 for the instrument, and then if you've got a character within range, you still charge an extra 2d6 plus 1.
Yeah, that's right.
That is insanely fast. I can think of only a handful of units which are quicker, which would be Harlequin Skyweavers and Dark Eldar jet bikes.
Yeah, they're fast, but they don't hit as hard.
No, but you do get more models than them normally.
Yeah, it's nice. I had the game on Friday, I think it was, against another Custo player, and had a block of 18 Seekers, and even a charge of jet bikes didn't manage to get rid of most of them.
Right. Fair enough.
Do struggle with Custodes, unfortunately, because
I think most people do. They're just so hard.
The toughness and the fact that you're a minimum of a 4-up invuln and a 2-up save and 3 wounds. Yeah. You need a little to get through that.
I remember playing Toby at No Retreat with me Harlequins, and it was a tough match. Obviously, being strength 3 and 4 for most of me Harlequins. So,
great opponent to play against.
Yeah, he's a fantastic guy, Toby. Why purples? Obviously, purple is the typical Slaanesh theme. Is that what you wanted to achieve when you painted your models?
I wanted something that stood out, that would catch people's eyes. I've done other armies that have been different colours, and nothing quite pops like purple does, in my opinion, anyway. Yep.
Absolutely love purple. Obviously, Lucy loves purple for very obvious reasons on every single one of her armies. What is your favourite Slaanesh model?
From Games Workshop, it'd probably be the Seekers, just because I've always used them. But if we're taking Forge World into account, it'd have to be the Exotic Keeper or Zeracniel.
Absolutely beautiful model, and they really, really do need to update the Keeper. But if rumours are true, hopefully we will see one within hopefully 6 months.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, if it follows trend, hopefully it'll be Christmas, maybe January time, and we'll get an Age of Sigmar battle time.
And 40. Well, I would say a 40k release, but at least the models will hopefully cross over like they did the Great Unclean one and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Absolutely fantastic. So when you are playing as your Slaanesh Demons, you've obviously mentioned there for 40k. Custodes are kind of a little bit of an Achilles heel for you, obviously due to the toughness. What other armies, like if you're in a tournament and your opponent turns up and they say, all right, I've got this army, what army just makes you go, oh, why?
Imperial Guard Gunline.
Yeah. I can totally see that, because you've got to get to them, and whilst with the speed of Slaanesh you can, once you're there, it's just a case of the fact that they can retreat and charge, and they've got so many guns.
Yeah, when did I go? Throne of Skulls, I think it was, earlier this year, and I managed a squad of 30. This was prior to the FAQ, so I dropped down first then. And they managed to tie up like 3 Lehman Russ and a couple infantry squads, and still with them they retreated back, and I still got the squad blown off by the sheer weight of numbers that weren't even involved in the combat. You just can't deal with the amount of numbers.
No, and they're not too tough either. I think most Slaanesh stuff is what sort of toughness 3.
Apart from
the chariots are a little bit more.
Yeah, the chariot's a bit more. Obviously the Keeper, but she's not very survivable. Zeracniel's very survivable because of her toughness 8, and with the stratagem you can get her up to a 3-up invuln, which is nice. But even then, once you're firing battle cannons and basilisks, las cannons, etc. at her, she just can't make that many saves.
Yeah. I remember playing Lucy with her, and me Harlequins just, no matter how many fusion pistols I put into her, I just couldn't do the damage fast enough. So,
Yeah.
absolutely great model and fantastic on the tabletop as well. And
Okay.
she does dish out the damage as well, doing mortal wounds on a 4 to wound, even if the 4 doesn't technically wound.
Yeah, that's nasty, especially when you do it against a custodian player because they really don't like it.
Or an Imperial Knight player, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, I haven't actually brought her up against any knights. Not many people in my gaming circle actually run them that often.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I have her against a Warhammer Titan, that was at Throne of Skulls, but with the big flamer that does 46 hits, she didn't get into combat.
Yeah, that's pretty expected. So whilst you're hobbying, obviously building, painting, and so forth, what do you like listening to whilst you're hobby? Any YouTube channels or podcasts or anything that you like listening to?
Um, uh, Warhammer ones I listen to, obviously your own, Tabletop Tactics, um, Winter SEO,
Yeah.
all sorts. Podcasts I listen to, Heralds of Heresy, Facehammer, Honest Wargamer, loads and loads.
Yeah.
There's loads of American ones, Australian ones. It's just whatever kind of covers the topics that I like.
Cool. Some really, really good channels there, and I watch and listen to a lot of them myself while I'm building and painting as well. Would you consider yourself primarily a painter, a collector, or a gamer?
I'd say gamer above anything. I will try my best to get as many games in as possible whenever I'm free, as long as I'm not at work. But I managed to get, supposed to have, I played on Friday, I managed to get a game on Saturday, and I was hoping to get the 1 or 2 games in yesterday, but the guy that was playing was called into work, so he wasn't free in the end.
Yeah.
But I did do some painting, which was nice.
But primarily a gamer.
Yeah, primarily a gamer.
Awesome, awesome. When you do play, what kind of a gamer are you? So do you prefer in close and personal? Do you prefer kind of guerrilla hit and run tactics? I'm guessing from the comment regarding Guard, you're not too fussed on gun lines.
No, I like to get up close and personal. That's reflected in all of my army choices, I think.
Yeah, I think especially with the Slaanesh being as quick as what they are as well. I've noticed as well that you actually have 3 Demon Princes.
Yeah, I've got 3 plus Bellicor, which I always think he's Slaanesh bound in my opinion. I disagree. Yeah, but they always seem to do well.
Yeah, I remember when I used when I played against Lucy's, and she had a Demon Prince with dual talons and the Warlord trait that generated extra attacks. And then I'm pretty sure there was a relic that generated extra attacks, and a Demon Prince with dual claws had something like 9 attacks.
Yeah, it is horrible when you do that. I like putting the Warlord trait that's on a 6 plus to wound. They do mortal wounds as well.
Yeah.
Because that helps against all sorts. But when you've got, 7 attacks minimum type thing, and you've got 2s re-rolling 1s, you're guaranteed to get at least 1 6 in there. So an additional mortal wound is always helpful.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the Demon Prince, I think, is strength 7, isn't he? Base.
Yeah.
And does the Herald affect that? So that would make him strength 8?
Yeah, I think it does actually.
Which means you're going to be chomping through Primaris Marines on a 2 plus to wound.
Yeah,
which is tasty.
Yeah, it's not often that I actually have the heralds near the keepers, near the Demon Princes, because they're normally off on their own as such.
Yeah.
Then the heralds do help buff my big blobs of demonettes.
Yeah. And your heralds are actually daughters of Cain Medusa.
Yeah, they're. I converted them a few years ago because I did have Dark Elves back in 8th, and the Medusas I didn't really use that much, so I thought, oh, they'd be great models to convert over. Quite simple, but they do the job.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, out of the Demon Codex or the Slaaneshi, I want to say Battle Tome, but you know, I mean like allegiance abilities and things. What is your favourite kind of combo of units and stratagems and stuff that's, you know, you get it off and you think, yeah, that's cool, that's going to do well?
With Age Sigmar, it's you have, well, the Exotic Keeper of Secrets. She has a command trait that she's -1 to hit. You can then get her a artifact. I think it's Griff Feather Charm. I may be wrong. It's an additional -1 to hit, and then you can get some Hellstriders within 6 inches of the unit that's attacking her, and they're they're also -1 to hit. So seeing frustration on people's faces they can't actually hit your model is quite amusing. Seeing as though obviously Slaanesh is still considered an underdog.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that has changed slightly now in 2nd edition, obviously, with natural 6s automatically counting as a hit.
Yeah.
But it's still massively powerful.
Oh, yeah. With 40k, I like a big blob of Demonettes with a Demon Prince nearby to give them reroll 1s, the Herald to give them +1 strength, and the Mask of Slaanesh to make them -1 to hit, and if she's in combat with the unit as well, gives the Demonettes +1 to hit as well.
Excellent.
So get to a lot of attacks.
Excellent. So, with your army, do you have any kind of victory stories or feats that your Demon Princes have done? Has, I can't pronounce her name, Zarakniel, done anything that you've just went, yes, that is so awesome, so narrative and cool?
To be perfectly honest, any time that I succeed with Slaanesh, it's a fist bump, in just because, like I said, they're considered the underdog, and I love proving that they're still viable. They can punch high with, well, not necessarily against Eldar, but they can still manage to be up there with the best of them, sort of thing.
Definitely, definitely. So, what's next for the Slaanesh army? Are you planning to expand it, add any units to it for Sigmar or for 40k?
For Sigmar, because I'm playing around with lists for the final, and unfortunately, I don't think the Slaanesh Battle Tome is going to drop between now and then. I'm gonna try out adding some Ungor Raiders to give me a bit of ranged support, which I will be doing tonight. 40k, it's just a state of mixing, matching, because obviously when we first started, it was 8th edition, it was 2,000 points, and that's what everyone played.
Yep.
Now, most players have gone down to, or a lot of events have gone down to 1750. I don't know whether I can justify putting in Zarakniel just because she's 666 points.
Yeah.
It just takes up a lot, whereas I think obviously she puts a lot of damage out, but
she does. But when you compare it to for example, Imperial Knights, which are ridiculously good at the minute. I mean, if you know, a Castellan's just over 600 with the Shieldbreaker missile, the Volcano Lance, and the Plasma Cannon. He could probably take her out in one shot, even with the +1 invuln.
Yeah, it's just horrible. So I'm thinking, obviously I've been putting in Demon Princes, multiple ones, and seeing how that goes.
Yeah.
I think I was kind of looking for an Emperor's Children Codex to drop, to give me some options for some more fire support. But I may even use just the Chaos Marines to give me some Hellbrutes, or even things like Havocs or Noise Marines, just to add some range.
Definitely.
Because things like Dark Reapers or Imperial Guard you've got to get there otherwise.
Absolutely. I think that's a fantastic idea. So the final question that I've got for you, Tom, if you could just walk into GW right now, pick up off the shelf free of charge anything you wanted, what army would you do? This could be for Age of Sigmar, 40k, anything. What would you just literally walk in, pick off the shelf, and have to play?
Oh, that's different. That's everyone's kind of dream. I think if it was maybe a mixture of Games Workshop and Forge World, I'd try and do a full Emperor's Children army using the Cacophony Marines from Forge World to Standing Noise Marines, just because they're great models.
Yes.
And hope with all my might that we get an Emperor's Children Codex within the next few months, and Fulgrim drops, and we get the Death Guard and 1,000 Suns treatment.
That would be really, really cool. I mean, obviously, with everything that's been going on with Slaanesh, I mean, obviously, Age of Sigmar 2.0 mentions Slaanesh quite a lot, how it's trapped between worlds, the realms. The Ideneth Deepkin and the Daughters of Cain book mention him a lot. And then, of course, the Imperial Knight Codex also has the Imperial Knight stamping on a Keeper of Secrets. There's lots and lots of mentions in both worlds, or both game systems, of Slaanesh coming back. I think it's inevitable that it's going to happen. I just hope that it's soon.
Yeah, me too.
So that was the last question, Tom. Thank you very, very much for joining us. Go and check out Tom on Instagram. I'll post a link to Tom's page on Instagram in the description below. But please check out the rest of the channel. And if you're interested in having your army featured, please drop me an email again in the description below. But Tom, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for joining us. And like I said, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
No worries. Thanks, guys.